Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Sunday, October 13th, 2024. Did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did it turn out to be a splendid Sunday?
Yes, it did.
Good. What made it a splendid Sunday?
Well, I got it all done.
Great.
I got it done fairly quickly.
Good.
I thought the theme was very clever.
Mm-hmm.
And when I put the last letter in, it solved.
Whoa.
I love it when that happens on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare, but
Yes.
That's what happened. I filled in the last clue that I had to fill in and got the happy music, and that always makes me happy.
That never happens to me. It's always, okay, where's my mistake?
Uh-huh.
In this case, it didn't take me long to find it.
Well, that's good.
But I spent a whole lot of time in the crossword because I was sort of, I confess, dozing as I was working on it.
Oh, no.
So I'd get stuck and I'd just be staring at the squares. And then I'd sort of like, I think just nod off, and I'd look up and I'd be like, oh, cast. And then I'd nod off, I'd just be looking at something just like, I have no idea. It's sort of like my brain was just like shut down. Mm-hmm. The subconscious is ready to work here.
Uh-oh.
But eventually I did get through all of it, but I found it more difficult than...
Oh. Well, I have reverted to solving the Sunday on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, I'm busy in the morning, Sunday mornings, but in the afternoon, I do the crossword.
That's when Sunday crosswords should be done.
Yes, wonderful.
Right.
It's wonderful. You can get a drink and just sit here and solve the crossword.
Uh-huh.
And I always do pretty well. So.
Yeah, I'm convinced that I would do much better if I could solve the crosswords on the day of rather than the night before.
Uh-huh.
I can't imagine. Let's see. So if it comes out at 9 p.m. Central, that means the people on the East Coast are seeing it at 10 p.m. That's pretty late.
That is pretty late.
So I can barely do it at 9 some of the time, and some of the time I just.
But like Sundays comes out at 6 on Saturday, and
5.
Mondays come out at 6.
No, I think it comes out at 5.
Oh, here?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it came out at 6.
Nope, 5 p.m.
5.
It's ready to roll at 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I wonder why they picked the times that they picked.
I don't know.
It would be really interesting. I wonder if Joel Fagliano is listening and would like to grace us with a few words explaining how they decided that 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. That means that the people on the West Coast have a tremendous advantage, right? They're seeing it at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
That's almost fashionable. If not fashionable, at least it would be a pleasant solve, I would imagine.
They could solve it right after dinner.
That's right. They could solve it during dinner.
Mm-hmm. And then listen to our podcast.
Unless they have a rule, no crosswords at the table.
Well, that's our rule.
Mm-hmm. Is it? I did not know that. So let's see. There was a theme here.
There was a great theme. The title of the puzzle was Manual Dexterity. And just like the title of the puzzle and the clues actually had nothing to do with what you thought it was going to have something to do with. The manual in this case was not, doing something with your hands. It was manual as in do-it-yourself manual or instruction manual or tutorial manual. And all of the theme clues were italicized, so you knew they were theme clues, but they all referred to the title or the name of a do-it-yourself manual or a tutorial or a instruction book. The answers were just common phrases that had nothing to do with instruction manuals. But if you were going to name an instruction manual, it would work depending on what the instruction manual was for. So, for example, the first one was 23 across. Title for a tutorial on musical composition. And the answer to that was knowing the score. The score, not, in that typical phrase, that's not referring to musical scores at all, but if you were going to give an instruction manual about musical compositions, knowing the score would work. Or 41 across, a primer on playing dreidel. And that was going over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that one was funny.
Yep.
They had 57 across, which was a volume on vapor dynamics, and that was picking up steam. And then we had 83 across, a step-by-step guide for throwing breaking balls, and that was learning curves. That was a good baseball one. And then 97 across, a handbook on raising kids. And boy, this was a real turnabout because it wasn't anything about children. It was about getting your goat. And then finally, 120 across, a do-it-yourself manual on other do-it-yourself manuals. And that was tackling dummies, referring to all those dummy books about, Microsoft Word for Dummies or Mac for Dummies or all kinds of things, carpentry for dummies, whatever. So anyway, that was the theme. Mm-hmm. And it was by Gary Larson and Doug Peterson.
Right.
And,
who I think may have teamed up before. The names are certainly familiar.
Yes, they have done puzzles before. I recognize both names.
I recognize Gary Larson, of course, because every time I see that name, I think, no, not that Gary Larson.
Right.
He's probably doomed to have to say that forever.
Well, I read wordplay, and apparently Doug Peterson is somebody in like an NFL coach or something like that. So they say that they only use those names if it gets them into restaurants faster. They are not the Gary Larson and Doug Peterson most people know.
Well, they could try it once. You'd probably get away with it once. You'd probably be like, you look a little young to be that cartoonist or that coach. I don't know. A lot of these, they felt sort of like a bit of a stretch.
Well, of course they were.
I guess that's
what made it funny.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, like I said, I was falling asleep as I was doing it, so maybe I sort of missed most of the humor. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I thought there were great clues everywhere, not just the themed.
No, you're right. There are a lot of good clues.
I started off immediately, one across, massive stars, and I thought, oh, it's novas.
Me too.
And so
or novae.
or novae, yes, but
novae.
But it was in fact idols.
That's right.
Which was good. Mm-hmm. And I knew that because 2 down, pet for pebbles in cartoons was Dino.
Dino, yes.
And so
I remembered that.
Yeah, that sort of got rid of novae in a hurry.
Yeah.
And I thought, 6 across, I thought they were just sort of rubbing salt in wounds here. Associate of the gods Pothos and Himros, longing and desire, Eros.
Right.
And as you will recall, several crosswords ago, I spent about half an hour because I was absolutely convinced that Eros was the right answer when it turned out it was Eris.
Yes.
E-R-I-S.
I do recall that.
And so it's just like, I'm trying to forget that, and here it is in this crossword. And then next to it, train in the Washington-Baltimore area. I've been looking diligently and cannot find out what the answer, MARC, M-A-R-C, stands for. Oh. I think it's Maryland Railroad Company, maybe. But I mean, if you look up MARC, it leads you back to Maryland, so that's got to be the M-A, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not sure. I think Maryland Railway Commission sounds good. Uh-huh. Don't know if they're willing to change their name in case that isn't it, but I give them permission.
Yes, no, I didn't know what it stood for, but I got it from the Downs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 16 down, apply more varnish to. So I had it starting with R-E, and again, I kept thinking, it's going to be re-wipe for no apparent reason.
Yes, wiping takes the varnish off.
Yes.
Puts it on.
And after one of my periodic short naps, I'm like, well, that isn't right, no. and went for recoat.
That works much better, yes.
Which helped with 26 across. Interior design was decor.
That is correct.
That's all. I was just struggling everywhere here. I was sort of doing this little Tai Chi thing.
I thought 18 down was interesting. Recipient of 21 Academy Award acting nominations. And of course, the answer was Streep, as in Meryl Streep. Mm-hmm. But that is quite an achievement.
So how many has she won?
I think she's won maybe 2.
Really?
I don't know. But just to be nominated 21 times, I just find that incredible for acting. I mean, I know there are some like production people or music people that get nominated over and over again, but for acting, just to be nominated, that's quite the achievement. And she's been nominated 29 times.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're right. She's had
she's won 3.
she's had 21 Academy Award nominations and won 3,
Okay.
and 34 Golden Globe Award nominations, winning 8.
Wow, that's got to be a record too.
She must be good.
She is.
Wonder how she keeps her ego in check.
I don't know, but she. I just thought that was quite the achievement.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We had 13 down. That being signs with lines, and the answer was cue cards.
Yes, that took me forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had no idea what was going on there.
But that is a great clue. Signs with lines. I was thinking, some sort of a construction here or something kind of sign that you see on the road. But
Right.
no, cue cards.
Yeah, I was thinking of like when you're going down a steep hill, they sort of show the 3 wiggly lines.
Yes.
The one right next to it, let's see, 14 down, bunch of bills. It was 3 letters, and the center letter was an A, so I thought it was going to be law, because a bunch of bills become law. But it was WAD.
It was WAD,
Yeah,
yes.
a little more on the nose there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know 27 across? Susan, who wrote The Orchid Thief, Orlean?
No, I did not.
Oh, me neither.
Mm-hmm.
But I did know the one next to it, actress Gardner, Ava.
Ava Gardner.
This I took a sort of a stab at, and that turned out to be right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ford's only Supreme Court appointee, 9 down, was Stevens.
That's right. Yes, I didn't realize Ford nominated him.
Is he still on the bench?
No.
Oh.
He retired a long time ago, but
We had 25 down. Blank paneer Indian dish was sag.
yes.
So we're getting a full Indian meal here. We've had naan and puri and roti.
And
now we've
aloo. I love aloo.
Well,
like
no,
ALOO.
Oh, okay. I was going for because today we had 21 across.
Right.
Surname of 3 baseball brothers,
Yes.
Alou, ALOU.
Brothers, yes. Uh-huh.
Let's see, 38 across. I don't think I'd like the person, but I like the word. Underworld thug, goon.
Goon. Yep.
That's sort of just a great menacing word. Here come the goons. In that same general area, we had 40 down, garage job, and it was oil change.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be like an oil worker or something, but which did fit. So at the
garage job.
Sure.
Like mechanic.
Yeah, you're an oil worker. Okay, oil worker. Again,
I think those work on rigs, like oil rigs.
Yes, now that you mention it, that's probably why it turned out to be oil change rather than oil worker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was definitely having problems last night. But I did appreciate 59 down. I thought that was splendid. Kingmaker. And the answer was Serta.
Yes, I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Two over, water brand whose name is an adjective in reverse. And the only thing that came to mind was Brita. But
what's that in reverse?
Brita, Brita. Not the right answer, because the right answer was
Aturb.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is not an adjective in any language.
No.
But
it was Evian.
And Evian backwards is naive.
That's pretty clever.
Yes.
That was a very clever clue.
Well, perhaps it was based on the fact that they're like, how naive do they think these people are? We bet we can sell them water in a bottle. And thus an entire industry was born.
Right. So.
Let's see, we had 66 down, turn states evidence was sings.
Yep.
And we also had 68 across, farewell performance was swan song.
Yes.
So we had a lot of music happening in that area of the grid.
Well, a swan song isn't a real song. I mean,
might be.
It is if you're a singer.
Yeah, there you go.
But your swan song could be your last game, your last day on the job, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else do we have here? 85 down was level, and I went for tier, T-I-E-R, but it was even.
Even, yes.
And that V ran into 91 across, blank Le Gallienne, star of 1920s Broadway, Eva.
Yes.
Were you familiar with Eva Le Gallienne?
Not at all, no.
I'm shocked. So we had Eva and Ava both in the grid.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Modelers need 110 across. What did you put down for that?
110 across?
110 across.
Modelers need. Oh, I think that just solved by doing the downs because I don't even remember that.
I thought it was going to be glue.
Oh.
I was sure it was going to be glue. It's like 4 letters, modeler, of course. What do they need? But it was data.
Data, yes. Mm-hmm.
And let's see, 97 down, the Holy Grail, e.g. So I kept thinking about movies, humor, Monty Python, but the answer was goblet.
Goblet. I thought maybe it'd be relic, but that didn't fit. So, yeah, it was a goblet. That's right.
And that B, let's see, actually the O of that ran into 104 across. It's going around, and the answer was orbiter.
Yes. Yes, we had orbiter, and then we also had, didn't we have something else related to lander? Was that in this one?
Like rover?
Well, it was a lander.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
But again, with these 21 by 21 grids, it very well may be there, and I'm just not seeing it now.
Yep, maybe that was another crossword puzzle that I was doing today.
We had 109 across, be extremely angry was boil.
I know, and I put royal there.
Oh, that's good.
R-O-I-L. But no, it was boil.
Now, yesterday we had decoct, which means boil down.
That's right.
So we sort of had echoes of that here.
That's true.
Let's see, what else was... Oh, 108 down. That was river to the English Channel. So I saw the word English, and I'm like, okay, it's got to be the Thames, which doesn't fit. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking maybe it's the Thames, but... Because it was ending in M-E,
yes.
But it turned out to be SOMME.
Yes.
And a reminder that you can get into the English Channel from the English side or the French side.
Yes, exactly.
So one day I hope to go see the SOMME.
That would be
nice. Wasn't there like a World War I site or a World War II site at SOMME?
I think so.
I mean, probably there was fighting all over France, so...
Yeah, but that sounds familiar, yes.
Let's see here.
I liked 54 down. Seriously, in quotes. And it was, believe me.
Yes.
Believe me.
Mm-hmm. And then we had something that looks like a drink, 72 across, stereotypical prom experience, limo ride.
Yes.
But I was parsing it as limo-raid. And we had Gatorade the other day, so
that's right.
I thought, now we have limo-raid.
No. Limo ride.
It seems to me, you think about limo being like lemon lime, and then you get raid as in Gatorade. Seems to me that name could come in handy.
Yep.
And if the Coca-Cola company would be willing to send me a small royalty check, they can actually just pay me in Diet Coke. That'll be fine. I don't need cash. Mm-hmm. That would be great.
Well, I was having trouble with that because I'm a stereotypical prom experience. I have to admit, I went to the prom and I did not ride in a limo. That was not heard of when I went to prom, but I guess that's a pretty common thing now.
Yeah, I was told not to come to the prom, so
none of our children went to prom in a limo either. So anyway,
well, you were mentioning getting back to 109 across, be extremely angry, boil. We did have royal. That was 101 down, churn up.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Because I remember having boil and then later saying, there's where royal fits in. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, this was a great crossword again by Gary Larson and Doug Peterson. Well done, gentlemen, and thank you for that.
Yes, it was a great song.
Mm-hmm. And it's a good way to start the crossword week.
Yep.
And that is it for today then. So thanks everyone for listening. Remember, we always appreciate feedback, crosswordpodcast@icloud.com. and 5-star reviews wherever you happen to be listening to this podcast.
That would be lovely.
Yes, indeed. We will be back again then with our cutting edge analysis of Monday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.